Namaste, welcome. A few more great quotes are waiting for your attention in this episode. Great minds, great quotes. This is by Jalaluddin Rumi. Topic of these few quotes is aloneness. Aloneness. Not quite same as loneliness. Loneliness is different from aloneness. And I hope this concept will become clearer as I read these quotes to you. Jalaluddin Rumi says, "A little while alone in your room will prove more valuable than anything else that could ever be given to you." Of course, this describes the world around us. We are always busy, always running, always seeking, often not finding good companion, social relations are distanced, etc., etc. So a little while alone in your room will prove more valuable than anything else that could ever be given to you. I have observed, this is my personal opinion, that a lot of people feel worried or scared when they are alone. They always want to be in the company of people, which is nice. But on occasions that you don't have company, you are alone. First reaction could be, I am bored. I don't have anybody to talk to. I must be doing something. So if you are alone, you get up and go out and start doing something. You have other options. You could find a nice book to read, nice, soothing, calming music to listen to, or do meditation, or observe what is happening inside your body, observe your mind. That can be highly educational, instructive, and give you a deeper understanding of who you are and who you are in connection with the whole universe and the whole society, whole civilization. So I would say allowing some opportunity to be alone with yourself. I'm not suggesting that you are two of you. One is alone and one seeking to be with yourself. It's one, but there are two angles to look at it. When you are in the external world, when you are observing yourself, basically, yourself is observing itself. They are not an observer and the observed. That also, distinction is futile. An important part of scientific discoveries in the last 70, 80 years, that the observer is the observed. When you are looking outside, trees, flowers, grass, people, and another person is looking at the same scene, these two persons will have a different understanding, different opinion about it. Some people will think that's beautiful. Some people will not think that is beautiful. Some people may be scared of a lot of people. Some people may welcome being with a lot of people. So depending on individual perspective, you interpret things. So more on it later. This one is from an unknown author. I don't have the name. I never felt alone since I found out about you. Now, this could have many interpretations. Since I know about you, such a wonderful memory, such a wonderful experience, that I can relive that experience when I'm alone. So I'm never alone. I'm with your memory, your presence, as I feel. So this is the way I would look upon this quotation. This could also have a divine interpretation, that one seeking the truth, the reality, or the divinity. And after you get glimpses of that experience, after you begin to understand it, then you bring that divinity, that experience, that friendliness, that love in you, and that presence is enough to fulfill you in aloneness. This one is from Osho. If you cannot be alone in the crowd, if you cannot be alone in the crowd will be there when you are alone. Now this may sound paradoxical. How can crowd be with me when I am alone? This is one way to express this. Art of living is that in a crowd, if you cannot dissociate from the disturbances, the crowd, the noise, all the activity, you are not engaging in it physically, but you are mentally affected by it, mentally crowded by it. Now, if you have the capacity through concentration, meditation, to separate yourself from those things, lots of crowd, noise, everything. When you are there, if you cannot be alone in the crowd, that's a very interesting point. Being alone in the crowd. If you cannot be alone in the crowd, you're so much influenced by it, captured by it, then the crowd will be with you when you are alone. If you cannot be alone in the crowd will be there when you are alone. Think about it. On aloneness, there is another beautiful quotation from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He says, "There are voices that we hear in solitude, but they grow faint and inaudible as we enter into the world." So he's also in a way hinting at a world of duality, the solitude and the world. You are alone and you are in crowd. There are voices that we hear in solitude, but they grow faint and inaudible as we enter into the world. In other words, he is explaining the value, the enlightenment, self-awareness, wakefulness that you experience being alone. When you begin to enter the world, those positive, exceptional qualities that you acquired in solitude, they become faint and inaudible. You get totally separated from it when you enter the world. So, I guess the message is not to get separated from yourself when you enter the world, and not to bring the world when you are alone, when you are separate from the world. Both have rightful place in their own way. You need the world for many reasons. It is there. You are part of it. You share it. You share resources. You share emotions. All those things. But when you enter solitude, you still keep those things with you. So in fact, you never reach solitude. And the other way around, the same thing. In solitude, the qualities you acquire, you lose them when you enter the world. So I guess the beauty here is, at will, one could develop oneself individually. That quality where, at will, you reach solitude, even in crowd. And at will, you can bring crowd when you are alone. It's your choice. Thank you.